Good Friday morning, everybody. It is the 5th of June, and in case you're wondering where I've been a little bit preoccupied getting ready for something that's going to be coming up in 2 weeks here at the farm. One of the behind-the-scene things that needs to happen to make a show a success, whether it's a small little mini get-together like what we're going to have on June 20th, or one of the big shows like we've had here with several hundred in attendance, is work on things like changing this sign. It needs to read Saturday, June 20th. So that needs to get changed because May 16th was the original show date if we were to have had a large show this year, which of course got canceled for various reasons. And then we're going to also change this from Farm Heritage Day to Vintage Ag Day. So hopefully what all I have to do is just block off the A and G on Heritage, save that, paint the rest of this upper part white, and then add Vintage on here so it says Vintage Ag Day. So that's just one of the many things behind the scenes that needs to happen to put on a show. One of the first jobs that I've got to do to protect anything on the farm or to secure it from any kind of damage is I'm making a rope and fence area here for the new little pine trees. There's always somebody, and I don't care what kind of venue it is, there's always somebody that shows up, can't follow directions, can't follow instructions, and causes issues. So hopefully, if by my doing this, we'll save the little pine trees that are right here. So I'm going to run another couple of these T-posts across here with this yellow twine, some orange flagging tape, and hopefully everybody can see it and not run over the new little pine trees planted out here on the north end of the field. Now usually what happens when something's marked off like this and people run into it, it is a situation where the implement being towed behind the tractor causes the tractor to skid or drift, as a lot of the younger generation calls it, and that can't be avoided. So accidents will and can and often do happen. But anybody that tells me they can't see this out here and they ran into it, they're blind as a bat and shouldn't be driving anything. One of the things we've got to battle constantly around here, it seems, are the Gophers. Yeah, there's a bunch of new gopher holes out in what is part of the show area. Besides gopher holes, one of the other things you have to do to get the showgrounds ready for a show is make sure you don't have a lot of thorny weeds. This is one of those big Chinese thistles that I put some of that homemade weed spray on in a video or so ago, and yeah, that's all that's left of it. It's pretty much all just dead and dried up and wilted. So now it's just a matter of digging it up and tossing the remains. Here's another little fun project I need to do. I got to fill in that big old hole right there. That is part of the water line that runs between the hydrants in the show area for water for the guys with their hit and miss engines for their cooling. Thought I was drowning some gophers and ended up filling that trench full of water and ran across it with the side-by-side the other day and sunk. There's actually 2 of those. So yeah, that's going to have to get filled in and leveled up before the show takes place. I've had people ask me what I do with all the grass clippings on the farm, seeing as how there isn't a composting pile as yet. And I don't have a big pile of this stuff to set fire to let it stench and stink up the neighborhood. That's one of my pet peeves, is the stench of this stuff smoldering. So what I do with all the grass clippings from around the farm is I take them out here into the field with the little wagon cart behind the riding lawnmower, and I give them a fling out into the dirt. Hopefully this will help increase the humus matter or material matter in the soil, help it add fertilizer nutrients back into the soil, and future crops will grow better. So that's what I do with all of the grass clippings here on the farm. Even us old fat kids got to take a minute off just to grab a bite to eat. So stop by and check out T&T Cafe in Hanson, Idaho. One of the other things that needs to happen before we have a show is I need to take a minute out of my day to make sure all of the equipment is properly lubed and ready to go. Especially this old disc. Yeah. Now this disc here is a little bit of a different cat. In fact, speaking of cats, I've been told that grease fitting is similar to a Caterpillar crawler, one of the early ones. Well, I'm hoping the guy that owns this has a grease gun for that, because these bearings haven't been greased in 2 or 3 years, I'm sure at least, and it could probably do with a good squirter 5 into those bearings. I also try to do whatever little bit of maintenance I can do. I noticed this nut on there is loose. So yeah, this whole share here, or disc, is wobbling around riding on the frame. So that has got to get fixed before we can use it. And if y'all get real lucky, I might even put a wire wheel on an angle grinder and put a shine on some plowshares. All of this equipment is going to have to get moved out of this area so we can get the grass mowed. As you can see, it's getting kind of tall behind there. And speaking of that equipment behind me, one thing y'all ought to do is give me a shout to see if I've got a piece of equipment here for your tractor to pull. Some of it's gone away in the last couple of years, so we may have a little bit of an issue. So do contact me pretty soon. Let me know if you need something brought here, or bring your own. We don't care. Al and Beau are both garden tractor collectors, and they'll probably bring their own equipment to drag along behind their little Cub Cadets and whatever else they've collected over the years. So yeah, give me a shout. We'll get you fixed up, because I'm pretty sure we can come up with something for your equipment to drag around out in the field. Along with all of the other things that I have going on to do for a show to get things set up, is a lot of repetitive work as well. One of which is watering the pine trees again. Yeah, right down there. Right there, you can kind of see him. He's getting wet. Anyway, so much for today, and thank you for watching this YouTube video. And as always, don't forget to click on the little red subscribe thing right down there, and click on the bell icon and all, so that you can get notified every time there's a new video out for Nelson Creek Farms. As always, thank you for watching, and don't forget to share. See ya.